Okay, so we're going to be building a glass fireplace. So the way we're going to start, where we're still working in one point, is to make a back wall over here. So we're leaving a space at the bottom and a space at the top for ceiling and then for floor. And this time our measuring line, our wall line, we're going to make it 9 feet. So instead of dividing it in half, divide it into 3 parts. Now, you've got to start somewhere. So just make light indications until you're confident that these are equal. And you can't tell until you make a mark. So you got to dive right in. Okay, so we've got our 3 parts. And then we'll divide each of these up into 3. And this one into 3. Okay, now the one at the bottom is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 feet. We have 9 feet. And we're going to put a 6-foot height this time. We're going to put a figure in, but I think we'll put a male figure and put the top of his head at 6 feet. We tried the female figures where we put them in with their eyes on the 5-foot eye level, but we'll try a little higher eye level this time. And you can do phantom lines until you get the line you want. We need a vanishing point, just one vanishing point. So let's put it over here, over on the left-hand side. And we need to make a wall. Now this wall is receding from us. So what we're expecting is that the back wall is going to appear smaller than the part of the wall that's closer to us. So we need the vanishing point for that. So project the vanishing point through the 9-foot measure. And better to do a phantom line until you can make your actual line. And keep it fairly light, because this is only temporary till we... And then we'll do the floor. And then we'll go inside like this. Now, we want to go in 4 feet. So you need a scrap of paper, go back up the wall and get 4 increments. 4 feet. And we're piercing the picture plane. We're going inside that wall. 4 by 4 feet. We're going in 4 feet. I'm extending this wall. And I've measured off 4 feet. And I'm going to go up. We've got 2 new points. So we're going to project those through our vanishing point. And that'll give us the space on the ceiling. So we've got 2 lines here that are working parallel. And they're both on the ceiling. One is near and one is far. And we're doing near to far on the floor. We want to come forward and build our fireplace. So we're just going to estimate now. We're going to bring this all the way up to the top. So we stop at that perspective line. So remember how important our verticals are. And remember, you're developing your sense of handedness, whether it's easier for you to pull toward you or to push away. And you can also turn your paper. Now, in an ideal world, these would line straight across up. If they don't, just kind of tickle them in place so they make sense. And don't go too dark. Don't take too many strikes at it. And then pull the other part up. So we're going slowly, but this can all be done really fast when you get comfortable doing it. By the end of term, we should be speeding through these. So now this should line up as well. So obviously I'm a little bit off somewhere, but I think it's this bottom line. But it's close enough for what we need here. Okay, so now we have our box that we're going to build our fireplace in. Now, what's great about this exercise is there are several little things that are important for a whole lot of different reasons. One of them is the idea that we have a smaller box with a larger box sitting on top of it, but they share the same center. So I'm going to use my pencil crayon now to find the center of this, and then I'm going to choose a box smaller than the width. So now you don't have in your mind's eye what this is going to look like at the end. So whatever you choose is going to be correct because you don't have enough information to know. So just find something that looks similar to mine. And again, this is excellent practice as well because you're using relative scale. So just make sure you're within those parameters. They're sitting on the floor, that square that we made. And then do the same at the top. Make your X. These pencils should be very sharp for this, and mine are not. So it's a little inaccurate. So hopefully yours are sharper. And then once you have that, you bring these up. Bring that smaller box up to the orange line on the top. And bring it along. Once you have enough perspective lines up, you can estimate what would look right. When I have so many up here, I can just estimate what will look right. Bring up this far one too. That's important because this is made of glass. So we want to be able to see to the other side. So now we're in a typical perspective situation. We've got too many lines, but that's something that over time you'll begin to be comfortable with. You'll begin to figure it out. Okay, so we want to keep this width throughout the whole length of the piece, but at times we'll need smaller boxes and bigger boxes. But this will be the standard one that we use. Now, at about 1.5 feet, we're going to put the larger box over top. So let's bring the 1.5 feet down. And we're bringing it to the front and the back of the box. So I'm looking for this line on the floor. Remember this box, this large box? I'm looking for this now, and I'm going to attach this 1.5 feet to that, and I'm going to attach it to here, and then I'm going to bring it across and attach it here, and bring it across and attach it here. So this now is going to be our largest surface, and underneath it's going to be sitting on this plinth of glass, this little box of glass. Okay, so we've got a larger box, and then we've got the smaller box of glass sitting underneath. And then you see, we can see it. We'll be able to see it on the top. So we have to make another X. Now, we built into the wall for a reason, because we didn't have the width in our room to do it. And that would be the case in our room. We won't have the width to do something like this. So we're building into the wall to get it. But see, where this blue line comes up and touches my red line, I'm getting a smaller box here. And that's why we drew that one all the way through, so that we would see it up on top. And this is the most beautiful thing. See, now this box is the same as that little one on the bottom, only it's getting closer to the eye level, so it's more shallow. So what we're going to do with it is, it's going to be out of stone. It might be granite or slate, or it could be just about anything, but maybe something quite colorful, one of the more colorful granites that has beautiful flecks of color in it, nice warm browns and reds and ochres. So this is where the fire sits. I was thinking maybe even a round bowl would be nice too. And you see, the fire itself comes up, and it sits within that. So maybe we need our Pentel sign pen to find out where we are. Now, Curry sells the Pentel sign pen, and Desserts sells the Pentel sign pen. So if you're not... Oh, and they're supposed to have it downstairs as well, in the temporary bookstore. So hopefully everybody will be able to find one, because you see how valuable they are to use to make sense of what we're doing. And the other thing now is that we can see all of this in behind. So it's an inside line, but we can see that and we can see that because it's all glass. That's the universal symbol for glass in a drawing, is to do those lines, those diagonals. And this is glass as well. You can do verticals here though, because it's reflecting. And then we've got the beautiful piece of stone here that the fire sits in. And then there's one last thing to do. We're going to put our hood up. If you make this box a little bit smaller, go in and make a smaller box with the axe. It's going to join up with the largest part. So we just have to choose. Let's bring it at 3 feet. Remember what we're doing. We're looking for this point because that's at the front of our largest box. This is on our largest box. And we bring it over to the other side of the largest box. Bring it back. And it's hard to find it now, but we've got to find the largest box.
I did get confused and chose the wrong line and didn't choose the largest box. So here I've shown you a correction, but the procedure is exactly the same as what is going to follow here now.
And then you join it. You join it to the littler box. This front one is going to be pretty straight, but the ones in behind are going to be at a beautiful angle, the ones that are more distant. And this whole thing is made with glass, except for a tiny bit at the top. And the tiny bit at the top, it follows the vanishing point. So you've got to look at your vanishing point and follow it. Now all these lines are straight across, remember, because they're facing us. That'll change when we start, after the break, when we start doing 2-point, but for now you can just see them. And we're going to see this one at the back. We have to see that one too. And that goes to this one. And that's straight as well, because that's glass. And then the fire and the steam and goes up there. This is a solid up here. So it's solid white, probably. That would be what it is. Solid white. And this looks most beautiful if you have maybe a column over here. Gives it quite an elegant look too. So there's other things that you can, and if there's some trim, some molding, set in a beautiful box over here, that would be. So you see, once you start getting some concepts about what you like, sketching is, you don't even think about it. You just start. You just start going, and it all just fits in with what you want. See the nice column? But then there's our wall. We moved our wall back, so it's back here now. And this wall has come over. So just with some simple little devices, you can make something that's a little more complex.
Here again is the corrected version, and you can see that with the hood, the line, the angled line furthest to the right, has been extended out to the larger box now. I've also put the column in so that you could see that it's getting a little more elegant. And the male figure. This time, being a male, I put his head, the top of his head, on the 6-foot eye line. And where his feet fell didn't really matter. He's doing his job. He's showing us, relatively to the size of the fireplace, just how big it is. His height relative to the height, width, and size of it, how big it is. If we were to put a female in the drawing, we'd have to size her like the pieces of furniture to be about 5 foot 6 inches.